Hi, welcome to 151 Garage. I'm Sean.
I'm Jill.
She's still not feeling well, so the next thing for the vehicle is we're going to add some more lights to it. Obviously, off-roading, use as many lights as you can. We have a place on the front bumper on the pre-runner bar, the bar that goes above the winch, that we can actually utilize to add lights. Now, these lights, or these brackets, basically just clamp up to the bar. They come in different sizes. Has a rubber piece on the inside. I bought these on Amazon. I don't even know what company makes them. Probably some company in China.
Yeah, exactly.
Made in China. So we'll see how they are. There's a ton of different ones out there. These weren't that expensive from what I remember. I'll try to find the link down below, or link and put it down below. But they just clamp on there, and then you have a bolt hole right there to mount the light itself. Now, move those out of the way real quick. And we went with the same lights we have for the top, or the mirrors, but they're not spotlights. They are wide 40 floodlights, basically, is what they are. Now, they're the same design, same setup. Pull these out. I did pull them out, but I do keep them protected while they're in there. I'll leave the plastic on until I get everything on there. Same light setup. Now they're probably gonna go this way because I don't want them sticking above the hood. And yes, as everyone's made comment, the gigantic KC on the thing. We do have a plan to get rid of them. They don't make them in black. I wish they did, but KC highlighters are always yellow. At least it doesn't have the hello or whatever, the smiley face they usually have on it. I actually think those are kind of neat. I might get 2 of them just to put on the outer ones or in the middle, but I think I'm gonna black out all this stuff.
I wish it came that way.
Yeah, I wish they came in all black, or black with this right here as maybe dark gray or something like that.
I don't know if this will show up on camera, but on
yeah,
the back of these, it's the KC on it.
It's embossed in the back of the light itself. We'll show
really
that.
cool.
We'll show that later on.
I wish that would have been the way it was on the cover.
Now, what we're gonna do, let me put this back so I don't scratch the lens. I'm just gonna set this like this. Now, how we're gonna install it is we're gonna utilize this. And for those who don't know what this is the harness for the fog lights. Now, ours came with the plastic bumper, which had the fog lights already integrated into it. When we pulled the fog lights out, we saved the harness. Why you save everything? Because this right here will save me a ton of time later on, actually, when we go to install it. Now, if you notice how this is, each light has a different power. So this one's brown, this one's yellow, though they share the same ground. Now, this is gonna be kind of important because the harness from KC Lights shares both the same, get this undone, by the way, there you go, share the same power and ground, which means we're gonna have to rewire it. I wanna wire it in just like factory, where each light has a different power, but shares the same ground. So I'm gonna have to splice all these wires differently, splice them together, and make sure everything works.
And then we just gotta make sure we don't throw any codes.
Yeah, and I'm unsure whether or not, it's been so long since I've actually driven with that, the old bumper on, that I don't remember if it's like hers where I turn the turn signal or turn the wheel, it turns the light on, the fog light on for turning. I don't know if it does that. If it does, I'm sure we can go into
Heaven help him if that thing does turn on.
Forescan and actually change it. I believe there's a way to change it, if it is. We do have some other things we want to do with Forescan as well, as you know, make sure these stay on with the high beams on. That you can't, but you can do a lot in Forescan. We'll get into that when we get this all set up, or in another video when we go through Forescan of all the things we're changing, including the tire size, the lights, the stupid double honk thing that everybody knows, the most embarrassing thing. Is so loud.
And if you don't know what that is, a lot of the car manufacturers do it, including, you know, foreign cars as well. It's when you have your key fob in your pocket and you get out of your car while the car's still running, you close your door, it goes beep, beep.
Double honk. So we'll get into that later.
It's very annoying.
Yeah, we'll get into that later on a different video. I suspect we're going to get in there and do a lot more stuff. But this is first and foremost. We want to get this on there and kind of make sure everything works well. So we'll get into that. And again, if you guys want to wire it up, we'll show you how we did it pretty in depth, and you guys can do it the same way, especially if it works. If it doesn't work, we'll tell you it's screwed up and we're doing it completely different.
Oh, and there's tips and tricks. So make sure you watch this video.
Yeah.
Because he found some tips and tricks along the way.
Yep. Okay. So here we are. First of all, I went ahead and put one of these on the brackets for the lights, and why we did it, because we wanted to see how the light was going to actually mount on this. Now, as you can tell, it's kind of upside down with the lower portion down here, the flat portion. And the reason being is if I put it this way, so we're going to mount it this way, right like that. With it all the way up, it's going to be almost to the top of this right here. Not necessarily in the way for where we are, because we live in Florida. Everything's flat. Everything's going to be pulled, you know, flat wise. If I was somewhere else, I'd mount the light somewhere else, where if I needed to have the winch go up, it would interfere with the lights. So I'm not worried about that right now. Now the reason I mount it like this instead of up a little bit higher is because, come around here, the way these are mounted, if I go all the way down, this right here is going to interfere with this. So it's going to make contact with the bar itself or the clamp itself. So the only way to do that is to have it flipped around. Now, there are different clamps out there. I'll try to find these on the internet. I bought them on Amazon. They are fairly nice, in my opinion. They weren't super expensive. There are super expensive ones you can buy. I was trying to find something a little bit cheaper, and that's what I ended up finding. And I'll show you how they go together. Now, as you can tell, it has the two halves and it has a rubber piece in between. All it is, it slides in just like this, and then you clamp it on the back side. Obviously, make it where you want it, put it where you need it. Now, what's nice about these is they do have a threaded insert in here on the one side. But what I did on this is I went ahead and threaded it all the way through, put a lock washer and a nut on it. Just added security. Didn't want to have to worry about it later on in case it worked its way loose. Yeah, right about it. Does that look good to you? Going out this way? Widthways?
Yeah, looks even.
Okay. She said it looks even, so we're going with it.
So it looks even. I didn't say it looks straight, because Lord knows anytime I say anything looks straight, it's a little bit crooked.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I'll say that. Gonna do the same thing with this one. Lock washer, washer, and nut. Now we'll have to tighten these up once I finally get them, whatever, because they are very loose right now. As you can tell, they come loose already.
Yeah.
So we'll aim them kinda, and then we'll tighten them
I love
up.
on the lights, it's a case seat upside down, but the covers are right side up.
Well, I can turn them whichever way.
I don't think you can on the light. No, take the cover off.
Oh, yeah. Oh. That's fine. I was wondering, I was like, what are you talking about? Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah, the case seat and the light.
So we'll get the wiring and kind of show what we're thinking of is making sure everything works before we go do that. So go ahead and pause it. One of the things we wanted to do is verify that both systems work. Before I start cutting up the wiring harness for each system, we want to verify that this system works and also the original system with the fog lights. And the way we're doing it is just wiring it up the same way, connect it, make sure it works. If it works, good. Same with the other one. And the reason being is because if we have something wrong with this system before we hook it up, we want to know and troubleshoot it before then. Like if the lights don't work or whatever, or the switch inside the car doesn't work, we want to verify that it's not this system or not that system. That way we can only troubleshoot one system and that's it. So to verify, simple, hook it all up the way the instructions have, power, ground, hit the switch, and there you go. You got both lights. Sorry about the blinding, yeah? But go ahead and switch it off. There we go. So we got this one set up. Let's go ahead and figure out what the next one is, see if it works. And then we can start cutting these apart and rewiring the whole thing. Okay, so another thing we want to do is verify that this system works too. So turning it on, you'll see the lights come on.
Ta-da!
Both lights come on. There's no cut in the wire, so that way I know both this system works and both this system works. So when we start cutting it apart, because I'm going to utilize the pigtail of this one, that way I can utilize the plug with that. Now I have to cut that one apart significantly to modify with this one, but what I'm doing right now is I'll unplug this and I'll wire up this to see how much length I need of the two different cables I need. So we'll do that in a second. The way we're going to run the wiring after a couple tries, we're going to run the wire behind this bar right here, and then we're going to go immediately down below this under the winch and then zip tie it behind the bumper. What we needed to do is make sure we had enough wire here and enough wire here. And the way we're going to be able to do it is get this out of here. Is we're not going to have to splice the wires too much. We're actually utilizing the full pigtail for this wire and the full pigtail for the other wire. So we'll be right back after we get all that done. Okay, before I hook this up, let me tell you what I did. So this right here is the original plug from the car itself. These are the original fog light plug. It's the pigtail for it. And then the two connections went from here and the other one went to over there. The way it was wired is they share the same ground, but they had different power. So I wanted to mimic that. For whatever reason the engineers did that for this vehicle, I wanted to mimic that the same way in case there's any issues with the plug itself. So what I ended up doing is cutting to right about here is where the pigtail ends. And then from here on is the wires for this. Now, the way it was wired in is spliced in this one to obviously the one on this side of the car, the driver's side, and then the other one to the passenger side. That way it stayed the same. I kept the same wires to the same side, same light in case there's any issues with the computer or anything like that. we've already wired it up to verify it's good. We will show that, and we will go ahead and zip tie to where we wanted to, and we'll show you where we zip tied it. Obviously, if you have a different system, you'll zip tie them somewhere else, but this right here, the way it's wired, works. So let me go ahead and wire it in real quick and show you guys. Now, if you guys wonder where the plug is, it's up under here. For those who don't have a, you're not gonna see it. Yeah, it's up straight up where my finger is, right here. Now, the ones that don't have the fog lights still have the plug, I believe, but you don't have the switch. You will have to buy the switch and wire that in as well. You also will have to go into Forescan and modify the data where it shows you have a plug or fog lights. Turn them on, I guess. Okay. So we'll tuck it down when we get done, but we'll show you how it's wired in from the start. Plug them both in here. I will go ahead and turn on the car.
Ta-da!
There you go. They're off.
Yeah.
They're back on again.
Yep.
So switch works well. The wiring system is as advertised, what it needs to be. And we'll go ahead and zip tie it all together and show you where we zip tied it to kind of get it out of the way. So let's go do that.
Do we need our hood open still?
No. So luckily on the bottom of the bumper, they actually have a spot where I can zip tie stuff. I don't think it's meant for that, but it's an extra spot. Not all bumpers will have it. If you get this one, you will. I have to try my aviation technique of feeling around to try to find some place I can put it. It sounds bad, but.
Don't worry, y'all. His planes are totally safe.
No, sometimes you can't see where the engineers put the clamps
I know.
and stuff. Engineers have a great way of putting things where mechanics can't get to them by sight. They have to feel around to figure out where everything goes. Okay. So where we ended up wiring it to, come up here. Right here through the bracket, right here through the bracket, so it's out of the way of any kind of debris that might hit it. This goes down straight behind the light, goes underneath this. It's zip tied to a bracket that is right back there. And then there's a hole right here that it's zip tied to, and it goes up above this. Now, I didn't say before, come up here real quick. This does have that sheathing over it. I do have the plastic underneath it as well. That way there's the sheathing for the wire itself, the thick plastic that comes with this, and then this, the braided sheathing that goes over the whole thing. Triple protection before it gets to the wire. It should work. So again, you know, I hope you guys like this. This is something that a lot of people are talking about, of trying to figure out how it's done. We did a lot of information, a lot of digging, a lot of research to see if it could be done. We verified it because you can actually see that it's connected. You know, we hope you guys like it. We hope you guys enjoy. Click the notification bell, subscribe, and you know, hope to see you next video. We have a lot more stuff going on with this one, as well as some big plans going on with the Badlands and the Black Diamond. Badlands first. We're starting to work on the Badlands the day it gets here, so keep an eye out for that.
And we're still looking for stuff for the sport.
Yeah, we are looking for stuff for the sport. We do have a lift kit for that. We're looking for rims and tires. We haven't found some yet, but
The rims that I wanted are on back order until, you know, the end of time. So we're
Yeah.
gonna switch the ones that I want.
I'm gonna contact them one more time, probably tomorrow, to verify that it's available, because when you go to their website, it says low quantity, but when you click on the website, it says let them know when it's available. So I'm gonna call them up, and if they do have them, I'm gonna order them, and then we'll worry about tires when we get the lift kit. I'm worried about getting that before we actually put the lift kit on, because the last thing I wanna do is lift that up a couple inches and then ride around with no tires or wheels on it, except for stock. So we're trying to get them all done at the same time. So you know, be on the lookout for that. Do have more mods for that. When we get the Black Diamond, or the Badlands, we're gonna be taking this, the Badlands, and that right there, the Sport, out quite often, as well as the other vehicles as well. So, but again, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We do have a lot of plans with these vehicles all together, and you know, hopefully we'll see you out there. Bye.